For thousands of years, we've been eating spices like turmeric for their health benefits. But science shows we only absorb a fraction of their power when we eat them. The secret to unlocking their full anti-inflammatory potential may lie in trying not swallowing them at all. By making a simple oil infusion and placing it under your tongue, you can harness nature's best medicine. But this ancient wisdom is just our entry point. Over the next hour, we'll explore the complete anti-inflammatory pantry and build a lifestyle that cools the fire of aging from the inside out. This is food as medicine, perfected. We often talk about aging as something inevitable, a gradual slowdown. But what if much of what we experience as getting older, the stiff joints, the persistent aches, the frustrating mental fogginess, isn't age itself, but a silent, smoldering fire inside your body? That fire is called chronic inflammation. Understanding inflammation is the first step toward reclaiming your vitality. You already know about acute inflammation. If you cut your finger, it swells, it gets red, and it hurts. That acute response is good. It's your immune system rushing to the scene to heal you. But chronic inflammation is different. It is low-grade, constant, and systemic. It doesn't scream at you. It whispers, causing subtle damage over decades. It is the insidious force linked to nearly every age-related disease, from heart disease to type 2 diabetes to neurodegenerative conditions. It slowly breaks down the wisdom the body has built. Think of it like having a leaky faucet in your house that never stops dripping. A single drop is nothing, but after 10 years, that steady drip causes massive, expensive structural damage. Chronic inflammation is that slow, relentless drip. It undermines your energy, slows your metabolism, and dulls your cognitive function. It truly wastes the wisdom gained in a lifetime. So if inflammation is the key driver of poor health and accelerated aging, the wise approach is to extinguish it. We instinctively turn to nature's potent anti-inflammatory compounds. We blend turmeric into our smoothies. We sip ginger tea. We take capsule after capsule of powerful nutrients. We believe we are doing the right thing. But here is the paradox. Most of the best natural compounds never even make it to the fight. They are defeated before they begin. The challenge lies in something called bioavailability. Bioavailability is simply the fraction of a nutrient that your body can actually absorb and use. When you swallow a compound, it must pass through an incredibly hostile environment, your digestive tract. Your stomach is highly acidic. Its job is to destroy things, bacteria, viruses, and, yes, powerful herbal compounds. It's an essential defense mechanism. Anything that survives the stomach then moves to the liver, which acts as a powerful filtering system, often breaking down or rendering harmless the very compounds we are trying to absorb. For many fat-soluble, high-potency ingredients found in the kitchen, like curcumin from turmeric or certain antioxidants, the journey through the gut results in catastrophic loss. You might be absorbing only 5 to 10% of what you consumed. That means 90% of the medicine you paid for and intentionally consumed is simply excreted as waste. That is a terrible trade-off. We are feeding our bodies wisdom, but only scraps are being allowed in the door. This is where the revolutionary power of a simple, ancient idea resurfaces. What if we could bypass that entire destructive system? What if we could sneak the medicine directly into the bloodstream? The key is the sublingual route. NIPE's sub means under, Antilingual refers to the tongue. Under your tongue is a dense network of capillaries, tiny, highly permeable blood vessels. These vessels are very close to the surface, and they connect directly to the superior vena cava, which leads straight to the heart and the circulatory system. Anything absorbed there immediately enters the general circulation, completely bypassing the acidic battlefield of the stomach and the processing filter of the liver. This dramatically increases the bioavailability of certain compounds, potentially boosting absorption by 10 to 20 times compared to swallowing. Think of it as a secret backdoor into your body's command center. This method isn't new. Powerful, fast-acting medications, like nitroglycerin for heart conditions, have used this route for decades, precisely because it guarantees rapid and complete absorption. But we can apply this same wisdom to specific, potent, natural compounds found right in your kitchen. We turn ordinary spices into immediate, high-impact medicine. This realization should change how you view your entire pantry. You don't need exotic, expensive supplements to wage the war on inflammation. You need wisdom about how to use the foundational ingredients you already own. If you value cutting through the noise to find real practical wisdom that can fundamentally change your health, please consider subscribing to Primetime Wisdom. We deliver these insights every week. Now we need to know exactly which times ingredients are most worthy of this sublingual treatment. Not all natural compounds benefit from this route. Only those that struggle most with absorption in the gut, the fat-soluble, highly potent extracts, are candidates for the sublingual backdoor. And the number one compound, the golden powerhouse that has earned its place on every wellness shelf, is curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric. We will show you exactly how to transform common turmeric into a potent sublingual oil infusion ready for direct absorption. But first, to fully appreciate the wisdom of this technique, we must explore the complete spectrum of anti-inflammatory fighters available in your kitchen. Which other spices should you prioritize? How do you combine them for maximum effect? And what are the specific benefits they deliver to aging bodies? The power of food as medicine relies on two things: the quality of the food and the wisdom of the preparation. Next, we are going deep into the anti-inflammatory pantry, identifying the top players that deserve a place in your new regimen. We begin by isolating the absolute best source of the golden spice we just discussed. The anti-inflammatory pantry is far richer than just turmeric, but turmeric is where the power truly resides. Curcumin, the polyphenol that gives turmeric its bright color, is a potent inhibitor of NF-kappa B, which is a master switch for inflammation in your body. But as we discussed, if you just swallow the powder, you lose most of it. So how do we fix this? We leverage the wisdom of extraction and the power of carrier oils. Curcumin is fat-soluble. This means it dissolves in fat, not water. To create our sublingual powerhouse, we must extract the pure curcuminoids from the turmeric root and suspend them in a high-quality carrier oil. You have two excellent options here. You can purchase a high-quality liquid curcumin extract specifically designed for better absorption, often mixed with liposomes or healthy fats. This is the simplest, most consistent route. Or, for the truly dedicated, you can use the wisdom of your kitchen to prepare a simpler, potent infusion. To make an at-home infusion, gently warm a small amount of extra virgin olive oil or high-quality coconut oil. Add your organic turmeric powder. Make sure it's high quality, not just cooking grade, and let it infuse very gently for about 20 minutes, stirring occasionally. The key is gentle heat, never boiling, to allow the curcumin to leach out and dissolve into the fat. After cooling, strain the oil to remove the solids. What you have left is a deeply colored, potent oil that is rich in bioavailable curcumin. This is the compound you will use for the sublingual technique. But your anti-inflammatory arsenal must extend beyond a single spice. Think of your kitchen as a pharmacy stocked by nature. What other foods should be prioritized in your daily wisdom plan? Ginger is second on our list. Often called the world's most popular spice, ginger contains gingerols, which are molecules that possess significant anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Ginger has a long history of traditional use for soothing digestion and reducing nausea, but its ability to quiet systemic inflammation is powerful, especially for joint and muscle discomfort. It's highly effective, and unlike turmeric, it is easier to consume directly. Try adding fresh grated ginger to hot water or chewing a small peeled sliver before meals. It's a simple wisdom that provides immediate benefits. Next, consider garlic. Garlic contains sulfur-containing compounds, particularly allicin, which is released when the clove is crushed or chopped. Allicin is a potent anti-inflammatory agent. Interestingly, crushing the garlic and letting it sit for 10 minutes before cooking maximizes the allicin formation. Don't rush the process. Allow the wisdom of nature's chemistry to occur. Regular consumption of garlic is associated with better immune function and reduced inflammatory markers. Then we have the leafy greens, spinach, kale, and collards. These are packed with powerful antioxidants and essential vitamins that operate quietly in the background, neutralizing the free radicals that spark inflammation. They contain vitamin K, which plays a role in regulating inflammation and protecting brain health. Eating a large serving of dark, leafy greens every day is non-negotiable for a truly anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Think of them as the firefighters running around the body, putting out tiny blazes before they spread. Finally, we must talk about omega-3 fatty acids. You find these in fatty fish, like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. Omega-3s, particularly EPA and DHA, are not just anti-inflammatory. They are the building blocks for molecules that actually resolve inflammation. They actively promote the ending of the inflammatory response. This is a critical distinction. Inflammation has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Omega-3s help bring about the wise conclusion. If you are not consuming fatty fish 2 to 3 times per week, consider a high-quality, third-party tested omega-3 supplement. Now let's return to the core hack that started this journey, the sublingual method. This technique must be seen not as the entire solution, but as a strategic booster. It is the tactical strike, while the consistent daily eating of greens and ginger is the long-term defense. For the greatest effect, the ideal time to apply your sublingual oil, whether it's the DIY turmeric infusion or a purchased high-potency oil, is on an empty stomach. This prevents any interference from other foods. Using a dropper, place a small dose, perhaps 3 to 5 drops, directly under your tongue. Hold it there, without swallowing, for 60 to 90 seconds. You may feel a slight warmth or tingle. This is normal. Allow the dense network of capillaries to absorb the potent molecules directly into your bloodstream. After 90 seconds, you can swallow the remainder. You have successfully bypassed the gut and delivered a high dose of anti-inflammatory power directly to your system. Repeat this simple action once daily. It takes less than 2 minutes. But here is where the deeper wisdom comes in. A single powerful intervention is never enough to create lasting health. We must build synergy. Synergy is the concept that the combined effect of multiple elements is greater than the sum of their individual effects. Our sublingual oil is our powerful start, but we need the supporting cast to make the performance truly transformative. How does the synergy work in an anti-inflammatory lifestyle? It starts with combining ingredients correctly. For example, to maximize the absorption of curcumin that you do swallow in your daily food, always combine it with a pinch of black pepper. Black pepper contains piperine, which has been scientifically shown to dramatically increase the absorption of curcumin in the gut. This is the wise way to cook. Furthermore, these powerful nutrients require the right ecosystem to thrive. That ecosystem is your gut. An inflamed gut lining causes systemic inflammation throughout the body. Therefore, the next critical phase of our system reset must focus on gut repair and maintenance. If your inner ecosystem is healthy, all the wonderful food and sublingual wisdom you apply will work exponentially better. Next, we will move beyond the plate and discuss the profound impact of gut health on systemic inflammation. We will also introduce the 4 core pillars of the 60-minute system reboot. How sleep, hydration, and movement act as non-negotiable anti-inflammatory tools. Stay with us as we piece together the complete framework for a wiser, more vital life. Our journey began under the tongue, achieving a powerful, rapid absorption of anti-inflammatory compounds. But to maintain the benefits and truly cool the systemic fire, we must look at the gut. Your gut is often called your second brain, but in the context of inflammation, it is the control center. An unhappy gut is perhaps the single largest driver of chronic inflammation in the body. The issue is often gut permeability, frequently referred to as, quote, leaky gut. The lining of your intestine is designed to be a tight barrier, only allowing fully digested nutrients into the bloodstream. When this barrier becomes compromised due to stress, poor diet, excessive sugar, or certain medications, it loosens. Undigested food particles, toxins, and waste can slip through the gaps. Your immune system sees these intruders, immediately sounds the alarm, and launches a full-scale inflammatory response that then spreads throughout your entire system. Repairing the gut is paramount. This requires the simple wisdom of removal and replenishment. First, the removal. Significantly reduce or eliminate the inflammatory malware that damages the gut lining. This means aggressively cutting back on processed vegetable oils, refined sugars, and excessive simple carbohydrates. These ingredients directly feed the unhealthy bacteria in your gut and promote that damaging permeability. Remove the fuel for the fire. Second, the replenishment. Introduce foods that actively repair and soothe the gut. Bone broth is highly recommended. It is rich in collagen and gelatin, which contain amino acids that are foundational for healing the intestinal lining. Fermented foods like sauerkraut, kefir, and plain yogurt with live cultures are essential. They replenish the good bacteria, the wise stewards of your gut, which compete with the bad actors and produce beneficial short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. Butyrate is the primary fuel for the cells lining your colon and is profoundly anti-inflammatory. Prioritizing fiber is also non-negotiable. Fiber acts as a prebiotic, feeding the beneficial bacteria. Focus on soluble fiber from oats, beans, and certain vegetables. This is the wise, patient work of rebuilding internal strength. Once the gut is stable, all the anti-inflammatory wisdom we gather, whether from turmeric or leafy greens, becomes exponentially more effective. Now, with our diet and gut foundations established, we turn to the 4 core pillars of the system upgrade, the essential lifestyle elements that amplify the effect of food as medicine. The first pillar is fuel. We've covered the what, but let's briefly touch on the how. Wise eating focuses not just on what you exclude, but when you exclude. Adopt a pattern like the Mediterranean diet, which is inherently anti-inflammatory. It emphasizes whole foods, healthy fats like olive oil, fresh fish, and vast quantities of vegetables. It is not a restrictive diet. It is a pattern of abundance and balance that has been proven through decades of research to reduce the risk of chronic disease. The second pillar is hardware maintenance, or movement. You do not need to become a marathon runner, but your body must move daily to pump out inflammatory waste. Exercise, especially consistent, moderate activity, is perhaps the most powerful, non-pharmacological anti-inflammatory tool available. It reduces levels of inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein. Focus on 2 types of activity. First, gentle movement like walking, especially after meals, which helps regulate blood sugar and reduces inflammatory spikes. Second, resistance training, even light strength work, which builds muscle. Muscle tissue is metabolically active and acts as an endocrine organ, releasing myokines that fight inflammation. Find a way to move with purpose for 30 minutes a day. That is the wise minimum. The third pillar is defragmentation, or sleep. Sleep is not a luxury, it is necessary maintenance. While you sleep, your body is literally cleaning house. The glymphatic system, which acts like the brain's waste removal system, becomes hyperactive during deep sleep, flushing out toxins and inflammatory proteins that build up during the day. Chronic sleep deprivation, even just a few nights of inadequate rest, dramatically raises inflammatory markers and impairs immune function. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of quality, uninterrupted sleep. That is the crucial window for whole-body defragmentation. The final pillar is the cooling system or stress management. Chronic emotional and mental stress creates chronic physical inflammation. When you are stressed, your body releases cortisol, a stress hormone. While cortisol is necessary in the short term, persistently high cortisol levels damage the body, suppress the immune system, and are linked directly to systemic inflammation. Wise aging requires proactive stress reduction. This could be 5 minutes of deep breathing, daily gratitude journaling, or a consistent meditation practice. The goal is to consciously activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode, turning off the alarm bells in the body. The full system upgrade is the confluence of these four pillars: the right fuel, consistent hardware maintenance, dedicated defragmentation, and a reliable cooling system. When combined with the high-impact sublingual strategy, you move from merely slowing down aging to actively optimizing your health span. But many people struggle to put these puzzle pieces together. In our final segment, we will provide a practical, 7-day reset protocol that integrates the sublingual method with these four pillars, giving you an immediate, actionable blueprint for a wiser, more vital life. We have traveled from the kitchen spice rack to the hidden capillaries under your tongue, and from the gut to the brain's cleansing pathways. The final act of wisdom is implementation. Knowledge is only power when it is applied. We must weave this understanding into a cohesive, sustainable routine. This isn't about dramatic, unsustainable changes. It's about making simple, wise decisions every hour of every day. We recommend starting with a 7-day reset protocol. This protocol is designed to maximize the effectiveness of the sublingual anti-inflammatory booster while resetting your system's baseline. Day 1 through Day 7, the sublingual core. Day, immediately upon waking, with your targeted sublingual application. Whether you use your homemade turmeric infusion or a purchased high-potency oil, hold that dose under your tongue for a full 90 seconds. This is your immediate morning anti-inflammatory strike. The fuel reset. The ventot. For these 7 days, ruthlessly eliminate the primary inflammatory triggers. No refined sugar, no highly processed snacks, and minimal alcohol. Instead, your plate should be 70% color and greens. Every lunch and dinner must include a large serving of dark leafy greens and a source of omega-3s or healthy fats, like walnuts, avocados, or fatty fish. For breakfast, focus on a protein source and fiber, like eggs and berries, which keeps blood sugar stable and avoids inflammatory spikes. Wise eating means choosing foods that calm the body, not excite it. The movement commitment. Implement the wise minimum of physical activity. For the reset week, this means 2 non-negotiable activities. First, a brisk 15-minute walk outside every single day. This is your metabolic stabilizer. Second, 3 10-minute sessions of light resistance training throughout the week. You can use your own body weight, simple squats, push-ups against a wall, or basic lunges. The goal is to gently stimulate the muscle and lymphatic systems to flush out inflammatory markers. The sleep priority. The story. For 7 days, treat your bedtime like a critical appointment. Aim for a consistent bedtime and wake time. Stop looking at screens, phone, tablet, TV, at least 60 minutes before you intend to sleep. Use that time for reading, gentle stretching, or simple conversation. Remember, deep sleep is when your brain cleans house, repairing the damage done by inflammation. This is the repair phase. The cooling moment. Integrate a single 5-minute mindfulness practice into your daily routine. This does not need to be complex meditation. It can be 5 minutes where you simply sit quietly and focus on the feeling of your breath, entering and leaving your body. This conscious slowing down signals safety to your nervous system, immediately lowering cortisol and damping the chronic stress response that feeds inflammation. This 7-day protocol is not just about feeling better, it's about proving to yourself what is possible when you apply wisdom and consistency. You will notice subtle shifts, more stable energy, less morning stiffness, and perhaps a clearer thought pattern. These early successes fuel long-term commitment. But we must address a few common questions and concerns, especially for our audience who are focused on wisdom perfected with age. Is the sublingual method safe for long-term use? For natural compounds like high-quality turmeric or certain antioxidants, yes, it is simply a highly efficient delivery mechanism. Always ensure you are using a pure, tested product, especially if purchasing supplements. If you are taking any prescription medications, particularly blood thinners, you must consult with your healthcare provider before introducing any high-potency supplement, whether sublingual or oral. Wisdom dictates prudence. Another common question: does this mean I should stop taking my capsules? No. The capsules you swallow are still valuable, providing systemic nutritional support that benefits the whole digestive process. The sublingual method is best viewed as a targeted, powerful boost for immediate absorption, complementing the rest of your daily intake. Use the sublingual as your early morning booster shot and continue your daily foundation of anti-inflammatory foods and supplements taken orally. Finally, what about adaptation? As we age, our bodies become less resilient. We must simplify and customize. If the 15-minute walk feels too much, start with 5. If the full 7-day elimination diet feels too restrictive, start by eliminating just one item, sugar, for the week. The core wisdom is flexibility and consistency over perfection. Any positive step, repeated daily, will move the needle on chronic inflammation. We have now armed you with the comprehensive knowledge to transform your relationship with food and vitality. We started with a hidden hack, a clever way to use a common spice. We finished by building an entire system around that spark of insight, transforming a trick into a sustainable lifestyle. This isn't about getting younger, it's about getting wiser about the body you inhabit. You now hold the blueprint to manage the silent fire of inflammation, allowing you to enjoy a life defined by clarity, energy, and resilience. If you believe that wisdom is perfected with age, subscribe to Primetime Wisdom for insights that help you build a legacy that endures. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another guide designed to unlock the insights that matter most. Take this knowledge and use it. Act on this wisdom today. The concept of managing inflammation is not just about extending life. It is profoundly about improving the quality of every single day we are given. It's about ensuring that the years ahead are defined by engagement, not discomfort. We've covered the tactical moves, the sublingual secret, and the system mechanics, the 4 pillars of the reset. Now let's focus on the long view, how to sustain this anti-inflammatory wisdom for decades. Sustainability hinges on making the wise choice the 10 and a minute choice. If fighting inflammation requires constant willpower, you will eventually burn out. Therefore, we must integrate these practices into your environment and daily rhythm. Start by optimizing your environment for success. Your kitchen is either a war zone against inflammation or a sanctuary of healing. Make it a sanctuary. Dedicate one entire shelf or cupboard to your anti-inflammatory spices and oils. Pre-make and store large batches of your ginger turmeric oil infusion so it's ready to go every morning. Pre-chop your vegetables once a week. If the leafy greens are already washed and ready to toss into a salad or sauté pan, you eliminate the mental barrier to wise eating. The less friction between intention and action, the greater the likelihood of consistency. Next, focus on hydration, the often overlooked lubricant of the anti-inflammatory engine. Your body is composed primarily of water, and proper hydration is essential for cellular function and the efficient removal of inflammatory waste. Dehydration thickens the blood, burdens the kidneys, and slows down metabolic processes. Make it a rule. Start every morning with a full glass of water, ideally before your sublingual dose. Carry a water bottle with you throughout the day. If plain water bores you, add slices of cucumber, lemon, or a few pieces of ginger. These additions add subtle flavor and a tiny boost of anti-inflammatory compounds. The wisdom of movement also needs to be ingrained, not forced. Pair your movement with existing habits. For example, after you finish your morning coffee or tea, immediately go for your brisk walk. After every lunch, commit to 5 minutes of gentle stretching or movement before returning to work or activity. This is called habit stacking. You connect the new wise behavior to an old established one, making the transition seamless. We must also talk about the subtle shifts in social wisdom. Many social gatherings center around inflammatory foods and alcohol. Wise aging doesn't mean becoming isolated. It means bringing your anti-inflammatory wisdom into the social setting. If you are invited to a dinner party, offer to bring a beautiful, anti-inflammatory dish, a large salad, a tray of roasted vegetables with olive oil, or a delicious lentil soup. This ensures you have a wise option available and introduces others to the benefits of conscious eating. When consuming alcohol, choose red wine in moderation, which contains resveratrol, an antioxidant linked to anti-inflammatory benefits, and compensate by drinking extra water. The final element of sustainability is mindset, patience. You are reversing decades of accumulation. The inflammation did not appear overnight, and it will not vanish in a single week. The sublingual drop provides a powerful daily signal, but the true transformation comes from the cumulative effect of the 4 pillars: sleep, stress, movement, and fuel, applied consistently over months. Embrace the setbacks. There will be days when you miss your walk, or when stress spikes, or when you eat something inflammatory. This is not failure. It is simply data. A wise person acknowledges the slip, adjusts, and immediately returns to the foundational protocol without self-recrimination. The goal is a high percentage of adherence, not rigid perfection. This comprehensive approach, from the tactical sublingual strike to the patient, daily integration of anti-inflammatory pillars, is the essence of prime-time wisdom. We cut through the noise of fad diets and miracle pills to give you evidence-based, actionable strategies. This system will not only extend your years, but ensure those years are lived with the clarity and energy that a lifetime of experience deserves. If you are ready to implement this wisdom and build upon your foundation of lifelong health, remember to like this video. Your support helps us reach more people who are seeking profound insights for a well-lived life. This is your life, and wisdom is the tool to perfect it. Take action now. The journey we have embarked upon is essentially a process of refinement, turning simple daily habits into powerful tools for well-being. But there is one final layer of wisdom to apply to our anti-inflammatory strategy, and that involves understanding how to wisely manage inflammation caused by environmental factors and hidden toxins. This is often the unseen enemy. We live in a world saturated with chemicals. From cleaning supplies and cosmetics to plastics and treated textiles, many common items release compounds into the air and onto our skin that the body recognizes as foreign invaders. When the body detects these compounds, it initiates an immune response, and the result, predictably, is low-grade systemic inflammation. If you are doing everything right with diet and exercise, but still struggling with persistent fatigue or joint pain, it may be time to look outside your plate and into your environment. The wise step here is simplification. Start with your cleaning products. Replace conventional cleaning sprays, which often contain volatile organic compounds, VOCs, with simple, natural alternatives like vinegar, baking soda, and natural soap. This dramatically reduces the burden on your immune system. Next, consider the wisdom of your containers. Plastic containers, especially when heated, can leach chemicals called endocrine disruptors. These disruptors confuse the body and are associated with inflammatory responses. Transition away from plastic food storage, especially for microwaving. Invest in glass containers for storing leftovers and packing meals. This simple, one-time investment protects your long-term health. The quality of your drinking water is also paramount. Tap water, depending on where you live, can contain chlorine, heavy metals, or pharmaceutical residues. While the body has filtering mechanisms, reducing the intake of these burdens is a wise choice. Consider investing in a high-quality carbon filter for your drinking water. Hydration is key, but hydration with purified water ensures you are not adding to your body's toxic load while trying to quench its thirst. This process of reducing environmental toxins works in powerful synergy with the sublingual booster and the 4 pillars. Think of it this way. The sublingual oil and the anti-inflammatory foods help put out the immediate fires. The lifestyle pillars stabilize the structure. Reducing toxins removes the kindling that causes the fires to start in the first place. You are creating an environment, both internal and external, where inflammation simply cannot take root. Now, let's briefly revisit the concept of mindset and inflammation through the lens of longevity. We established that chronic stress releases damaging cortisol. But there is a deeper layer of wisdom here: the power of purpose. Studies show that people who maintain a strong sense of purpose, a reason to get out of bed every morning, experience better overall health outcomes and reduced inflammatory markers. Finding purpose after a major career shift or in later years is a cornerstone of primetime wisdom. Purpose fuels wise action. It gives you the motivation to prioritize sleep, to choose the salad over the processed food, and to commit to movement. It provides a long-term goal that makes the daily disciplines feel less like sacrifice and more like preparation. If your purpose is tied to your family, your community, or simply the mastery of a new skill, cultivate it actively. Dedicate time each week to activities that feed your soul and challenge your mind. This proactive engagement is not just emotional, it is biological. It keeps your brain active, promotes neurogenesis, and ultimately acts as a profound psychological shield against the damaging effects of chronic stress and inflammation. This comprehensive strategy, the sublingual catalyst, the 4 pillars, the environmental detox, and the mindset of purpose, is the full 60-minute masterclass. We have equipped you with the evidence and the actionable steps to transition from fighting inflammation to actively preventing it. Remember, the goal of Primetime Wisdom is not just to talk about living well. It is to provide the practical guidance for a life well lived. Take the wisdom you have gained today, apply the 7-day reset protocol, and watch your body respond. We encourage you to share your journey and experiences in the comments below. What anti-inflammatory foods have worked best for you? Let's build a community of shared wisdom. If this guide has provided you with clarity and actionable insight, and you believe in the power of evidence-based wisdom, please click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You are taking the final step in securing your vital future. Thank you for joining us on this journey to mastery.